the Ring Fanatics Podcast, episode number 31. I am Nick, your host. With me, as always, my co-host Joel. Before we get into this episode today, want to shout out Jonah and Anthony for coming on our show last week and talk about Mania. Great time, great conversation. Go check that out as well and their channels. Also, go subscribe to us. Always, if you're listening to on YouTube, go subscribe to us. Click that subscribe button. We need more subscribers on there. If you're on Spotify, just head over to YouTube and subscribe anyways. Go follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and even Spotify if you want, anywhere we be found. Today's topic is something that Joel and I have been talking about, discussing over the past, I guess you could say, 2 to 3 weeks. Something that we've been, I feel like this would be a great topic to talk about since, like, you know what, I was thinking about, like, you know what, just talk about it instead of just texting and just put it out there. We've been talking about the guess you can talk about say debate. I don't know if you would say that, but it was like we always talked about how, with this match that happened last week on NXT Takeover Stand Over Deliver between Jordan Devlin and Santos Escobar for the Cruiserweight Championship match. How many conversations have you had between that talked about comparing both of them?
Many. As I tried to persuade you and bring you to the dark side, but it did not work.
It didn't work. No, it did not work. It didn't work for me either. It didn't work for bringing you over to my side with it, Devlin. Clearly with that. Well, we've been talking about how, from me and my side, how I talked about how Jordan Devlin is the better, I guess, overall for Santos Escobar, and vice versa with Joel. Joel thought Escobar was better than Devlin in a way. Obviously, as we've seen last week, Escobar came out the champion.
Great match.
Great match. Great match. Not gonna lie, that was a great match. But between them two, now that neither of them are champion at this point anymore, Kushida is now Cruiserweight champ. As you said, did not expect that. At all.
That was so, like, out of nowhere for me.
Yeah, me too. Once I saw, because they advertised it before NXT this past week, like, oh, there's gonna be an open challenge, whatever, for Santos Escobar. So I don't want to say I knew it was happening, but I kind of had a feeling something was gonna lead up to it. Like, this is not just gonna be like a random match that Escobar is gonna win cleanly and that's it.
Yeah.
I had a feeling something, it was gonna lead to something, to where it was like either his next feud or a debut, return, whatever. It was weird because I never thought Kushida would win. I never thought that was gonna happen. Like, I feel like he recently had a title shot. Didn't he have a title shot like 2 weeks ago or something? I think it was Devlin.
Not sure, to be honest.
I remember Devlin faced him in a match. I don't know if that was for the title
or just
a
random match.
It may have been just a random match. I'm not sure, but it was. I just didn't expect it. I'm like, wait. And we talked about it beforehand. Like, you said Escobar would have been a better champion. And I said Devlin was a better champion.
I still stick by my word. I still stick by it.
I'm not saying Escobar is a bad wrestler. I'm not saying he's terrible at wrestling. I'm just saying that I feel like Devlin has in my eyes, a better future in the company, in my opinion. I just feel like he overall has...
you know what? Since he's the photocopy of their golden child, he might have a better future than Escobar.
No, okay. So so what Joel just mentioned, Devlin was trained by Finn Balor, and he said he thinks that Devlin is kind of like he said, a photocopy of Balor.
Not kind of. He is a photocopy from the move set to the gear.
Yes, I know he trained him, but in my opinion, I think he's better than Balor. I think he's a better version of Balor. In my opinion.
Think so?
I think so. People don't see it.
Hot take.
People don't see it.
Take.
I don't
see it.
I see it. I think he's a better at it in a promo wise, 100% better. In the ring, people don't see him often because he was on NXT UK. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, not trying to shit on that, but like, no one watches that. I mean, we've only seen what he's
not trying to shit on it, but nobody watches it.
Yeah, I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but like,
I know what you mean.
yeah, it's like we've only seen what like a lot of people have seen what he's done so far when he debuted in NXT. So it's like, okay, you don't know much about him yet, and people are gonna say like, oh, he's lost, he sucks, blah blah blah. Like, I don't think he's bad. I mean, like, he just took a lot of bumps. I mean, I guess they try to make Escobar look better.
I think that was more on making Devlin look better, because Devlin had all the big moves. If you look at the match, like he had the Spanish fly off the ladder. He had a lot of the more high flying and off the top rope, off the top of the ladder in the corner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He had more of the big bumps in the match, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, I can see why they. I mean, I can see why they gave it to Escobar to win it, because I was thinking about it. Like, I kind of think the reason why they made him retain it and lose it Tuesday in such a short amount of time is because, like, I think if Devlin would have won that match at Takeover, then like it'll probably confuse people. Like, oh, like, would it be a new title reign, or would it continue his that on and off title appearance that he's had?
Yeah.
So I guess I could see why it would have been confusing in terms of that one. And same thing with, I mean, I guess you can give to Escobar because he's had it for about a year now.
And was killing it.
Exactly. So I can see why they made him win it. And then I guess to make it less confusing, might as well give it to somebody else now that it's just one title again.
Yeah, which
to make it like a fresh new title reign and like, okay, now it's a new champion. Let's just have him roll with it.
Yeah, I don't even understand why they had him lose there. Like, they could have just had him lose it to Devlin. Like, it looks like it's going back on Devlin.
That's what I was gonna say the same thing.
It looks like it's going back on Devlin. Sadly. But
I don't think it's sadly. I think it's sadly.
It is what you know what I mean? It is what it is with the Cruiserweight division. Escobar, I don't know if he's staying in the Cruiserweight division.
I don't think so.
I think his tryout to see how he would do outside the Cruiserweight division against Cross a couple weeks ago, that was like his tryout to see how the fans would react to it. And who knows? They have one match. Who knows if that's not the next storyline he goes into?
I don't think so. It would be cool to see him in that picture, but I think that would be rushing into it. I feel like he should be.
Oh no, they're gonna build up to it. They're gonna build up to it. He's not gonna go straight for it. But
I would honestly give him.
If they're smart, they would get him out the Cruiserweight division and have him work his way up to the world title.
I would honestly make him go for the North American Championship next.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, I think it might happen. If you, I mean, I know Gargano's also a heel, but
it just
I think he could be more of a babyface too. I mean, I know he faced Kushida, but that feud with Devlin, I think, can make him more of a babyface now. I think people would be behind him because I feel like they were with that feud. So with Devlin. So I think the people were more behind him than Devlin. So I think if they put him in a feud with Gargano, I think people would be behind him well, and it would be like an easy transition. I don't think people would boo both of them.
Yeah, but I don't know if Escobar works as a face.
I think he could. I think he's likable. I think he's a likable guy. He may not seem like it is, but like I think he could, like, just by doing this typical normal promos that he's been doing lately, people would still do that.
Yeah, but it just, I don't know if it would fit his character on being a baby face. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With leading the group, it just doesn't work, I feel, in my opinion. They could always try it out. They always try new things out. NXT is the place to do it.
Yeah.
But I just feel like it won't work. But who knows? They could prove me wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping. I mean, Gargano, I mean, either that or they could bring Gargano to a babyface. Again,
Gargano is just, I feel like right now they just have him in the way, and like I thought he was gonna lose the belt, and never lost it. They still
You
got him
have him in the
feuding with
way. He's in the
Loomis
way.
here
What?
and there.
God,
That was a good
yeah.
one.
Yeah. But I
But
mean,
no,
I kind of like this feud of the Loomis. I don't think it's that bad. I mean, I kind of enjoy it. It's kind of hilarious.
but also my take on Loomis. I just can't get into the guy. I can't get into it. I He's great in the ring. I just can't get
Yeah,
into the character.
yeah,
I don't understand it. And it's just me. I don't know.
yeah. I see. I mean, it would have been cool if like, but one of the feuds I would have loved to see with either Escobar or Devlin as cruiserweight champion. I kind of wanted to see Gargano go after it. Either him or Champa. I think Champa should because technically they both are cruiserweights.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that is true.
so they can technically compete for it. And I think I think 2 episodes ago, you said Bobby Fish should go for the
Yeah.
cruiserweight champ. That would be awesome. Seems like Roderick Strong is out of NXT.
I wanted to ask you about that. What you think that's about?
Not going to mind it if he goes to SmackDown. I'll be honest with that.
Really?
I wouldn't mind it. I mean, what would you do with Roderick Strong in NXT?
There's nothing to do with him
Exactly.
anywhere.
I mean, no, I feel like he's nothing to do with specifically with NXT. I mean, he's been champ already, tag team and North American.
Yeah.
I feel like they're putting him in the same spot over and over again.
I still don't know how they haven't had him in a title feud, like a world title feud.
Yeah, I mean, he has before Undisputed Era.
No, yeah, but like ever since he's been in Undisputed Era, I get it. Cole was the heavyweight championship guy. Roderick was the middle card, and then became the tag team guy because Bobby Fish, a wind blows and he tears his ACL. It's just, I feel so bad for Bobby Fish. I make those jokes, but I feel so bad because it's like you work your whole career to get to this one spot, and then you just have so much bad luck that you just keep getting injured. It sucks.
Yeah.
But he's made out of glass. Like the guy
literally. Yeah.
Yeah, like he's always getting injured. It just sucks.
I mean, I don't know. I think he's meant for a tag team. I'm not sure. That's why maybe like every hit he gets injured. So if he's in the singles joint, he's gonna get injured like every single match. like he's tore his ACL, comes back, tears it again. I think it's time for him to retire, in my opinion. That's a whole other story.
What is he, 42?
In his 40s, man. He's in his 40s. He's getting up there.
But that's also why he has so many nagging injuries, because it's just he's getting older. He's had the injuries for a while now. You know what I mean? So it's just now.
I could see him doing more of like a backstage producer type of thing. I think he's been around the game for a while where he could help in that way, in that sense. 100%. I think because I was speaking of that, like I think Brian Kendrick is a producer for SmackDown. If I'm mistaken, he's producer for something, one of the shows. I'm not sure which one. But I think Bobby Fish should help with backstage in terms of the cruiserweight division. I don't know if he's ever gone for a cruiserweight title, not in WWE, but outside of WWE, or he may have just have been a tag team guy. Not sure, but I think someone needs to help out with that because they need some type of star power. I mean, they have Kushida as champ now. That's not a bad champion, but
I feel like the cruiserweight's been building up slowly ever since Leo Rush was champ. Yeah. And then he left, and then of course all that happened. I feel ever since then they've been trying to spotlight the cruiserweights more on NXT. It's just tough because they're cruiserweights. For some reason, people aren't watching 205 Live.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was gonna bring up too.
It's just, and like we've always talked about that, cutting NXT to an hour, putting 205 and NXT on USA on one night. But like, I feel like the cruiserweights this past year have been pretty decent. You know what I mean? Been pretty good. Like I said, I think it has to do with a lot with Escobar and the way he could sell matches. You know what I mean? Like all the matches that he's had. I think one of the best ones he had was at Halloween Havoc. Then to think like he's the cruiserweight champion and he's feuding with Karrion Kross, who's not a cruiserweight, so it's kind of like broadening the like bringing the cruiserweight into different categories.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're not only cruiserweights.
I like how they, because the thing is with that, I think with Escobar, he's put a lot of people on the map. I mean, he had like a long feud with Isaiah Swerve Scott, which like I think he's kind of raised the bar for him in terms of him not going for the cruiserweight championship anymore.
I thought he was gonna win that.
Me too. The gauntlet.
6-way. Yeah, the gauntlet.
Yeah, me too. I thought he was gonna win that. Which
that was a great match. Also.
For him, yeah, I love that. Him, Cameron Grimes, and Bronson Reed. I thought they were just gonna keep going forever, but I mean, with him, with Scott, like I think that for him, I wouldn't mind if he went back to for the cruiserweight championship.
But that's why I like, because I feel like now, with Escobar doing that, they're kind of showing that the guys could go to different things. So let's say, who knows?
It's not a downgrade. It's not a downgrade.
Like you said earlier, Kushida versus Gargano. Maybe Gargano says, I want to be a double champ. I'm under 205. Let's do this. You know what I mean? And then it brings him to the cruiserweight division, but also he's not only in the cruiserweight division. So it lets them do anything they really want to. Because there was a time that I want to say like the mid 2000s, 04, 05, 06, where cruiserweights were also going for different titles. Big name, Rey Mysterio.
Exactly.
Cruiserweight, and then won the Rumble, won the title. Yeah. Like it showed that you can be in any division, but you're always gonna be a cruiserweight.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I mentioned Tommaso Ciampa and someone in that big of a name where it's like, if you put them as champion, put them on 205 Live as well. Give them time to where people can tune in to 205 Live Friday nights, which may not be the ideal night you want to watch 205 Live.
205 Live, that is the worst spot that they could have gave them.
Exactly.
Like after Friday Night SmackDown, which SmackDown's already on Friday, so right now you're getting big numbers because everybody's home, right? Yeah. When it starts getting nice out, you're not always gonna hit that number that you're hitting now. And then also now you have another show on Peacock, 205 Live. Like it's not even on TV.
Yeah.
So you gotta go to the app, watch it. It's just a whole process. I always feel 205 Live and NXT going hand in hand. Why not put them on the same night? Why not? Okay, let's say you keep because I was always the advocate for 1 hour NXT, 1 hour 205. Let's say you keep NXT to 2 hours.
Yeah.
Let's say either 7 to 8 or 10 to 11, 205 Live. Put it the same night.
I was going to say,
especially that they share talent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it makes sense.
So you could just be like, oh, tune into after NXT on Peacock or whatever. Watch me defend my title there. And then that's when people don't tune in.
Or you know how many, or you could even hype it up. And you don't even have to say, maybe you change the name of 205 Live and just NXT. But 1 hour of NXT is only on Peacock and only is strictly cruiserweights.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's say instead of closing with a big angle, you close with the champion making his entrance at 9:58. And it's like, if you want to hear what Kushida has to say, tune in on Peacock at 10 o'clock as he is opening up NXT Peacock or something like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like just something to hype it up and bring it on the same night since they share talent.
Exactly.
It makes no sense that they're on a whole different night.
Yeah. What was I going to say? I just lost my train of thought. I think that with 205 Live lately, they've been using literally the same like 5 to 6 guys every week.
Yeah.
What are the names? They use the Bollywood Boys, the Singh brothers. They've used Nice, Davari, and like I think the other tag team, I forgot their name, and that's it. And it's like, if you put other people on there, and I get it, they're probably using that as like a platform to be like, okay, let's see who can work as a cruiserweight, then maybe bring them up to NXT to kind of, if they reach that star power there, they can come to NXT.
Yeah.
In a way. So I think that this week they should just not this week, but like they should just worry about in general to use that as they go. If you think someone's ready, use them in NXT. Use them on both platforms. Bring
Yeah.
Tony Nese, Aria Daivari every week on NXT. Bring everyone there in NXT and have like spend like you said, a certain amount of time. Maybe like a like a half hour of the show is just cruiserweights,
Yeah.
or
Exactly.
you
That's what I'm
you
saying.
open up with the cruiserweights every show.
Yeah.
So it could be like, okay, now you know it's a cruiserweight, Tony Nese versus whatever, and then after that it's just Kushida versus somebody, and then you have a backstage segment where Regal talks about the cruiserweights, something to keep it relevant instead of just bringing like a Santos Escobar versus Kushida, and then that's it.
Yeah.
You don't see the cruiserweight ever again, and then it's like, okay, now what? So it's I think more timing. I don't want to say I'm not trying to say to extend NXT to an hour. No, I mean to like at least give it timing to where it's still up to that hype compared to the rest of the show. And I'm not saying it isn't hype. It is with Escobar. He really brought out all the talent for the cruiserweight division. Like I said, but Swerve brought him out heavily. I think with Kushida now, I think it's time for that. He continues to do the same thing, keeping it like relevant in a way to where he goes on to face people and make them bring them up a little bit to that level where they can go for any other title instead of just the cruiserweight championship. Because someone like Jake Atlas, great talent. I've seen his work before, but now he's just back. I don't know where he's at. Like I don't even know what he's doing.
Yeah.
Like I think he was in the Battle Royal and that was it. I think he could have been someone who done the same thing where like he can also contend for the North American Championship. Because if you look at him now, I don't think he's worthy enough to go for the NXT. I mean, yes, Cruiserweight Championship, yes, but for in terms of the other two championships, not really. So
I feel you.
I think it's like time for give Kushida the ball, go with like obviously he's a champ now, so they have trust in him with doing that stuff. Put
Yeah.
him put him against matches. Like have him do like an open challenge every week now.
I
Even though
feel
it's
like I always like the open challenge
yeah
landscape that because anybody could show up. You know what I
yeah
mean? Like, and I think that's cool, and I think that's also a way that you can get guys that you don't give time on the main roster to get a match and
they
get
had
seen.
they had Lucha House Party come down for a bit, do stuff with them. That was cool.
Yeah,
That was different. It kind of keeps them in that picture, so they're still considered cruiser. Obviously, they're still considered cruiserweights.
yeah.
But I think it would be cooler if they did the same thing where well, there's a lot of people who are signed to NXT who we haven't even seen at all on television. Like we've seen what's his name? He was on GCW earlier this couple not too long ago. Yeah, but I can't think of his name.
Wait,
Curly haired. I think he's ginger.
Ginger.
He was on that 24 out the Fight Forever show. That's where I saw him last. I don't know if you saw the whole thing. I forgot his name. I can't think of his name right now. Now I
He
gotta look it
was
up.
recently signed.
Yeah, not too long ago.
Let's see.
Uh, recent.
Let's.
Blake Christian. Blake Christian.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Him. They could use people from the main roster still, like Ricochet, cruiserweight right there.
Exactly.
Don't know why he's never competed for that. I've always thought too that they can use the cruiserweight championship in the main roster too. That should have been a title that could have been defended on all three brands.
Well, they did for a while.
And then they brought it to NXT only, and they consider just NXT Cruiserweight Championship.
It lost steam. It lost steam. Let's talk about it. Cruiserweights. It was at an all-time high. Whether people want to hear it or not, Enzo Amore took that Cruiserweight title and made it something. Yeah. Nobody gave a fuck about that belt beforehand. Like, I think he beat Kalisto for it. I know he beat the first time Neville. Second time Neville. Kalisto. And then once he vacated it, I'm not sure who was the next champ. I know Tony Nese won it at 35. Yeah. And I know Buddy had it before that.
I think it was WrestleMania 34. It was Cedric and Mustafa Ali.
Yes.
And then
So it was still on the main roster, and then hold on, I'm looking it up right now. Looking up the list.
Yeah, I think it was right then and there. It was like
so
back to
it was vacated. Alexander, Buddy Murphy, Tony Nese, Drew Gulak, and then this is where it picked back up when they brought it to NXT with Leo Rush, and then we had Leo Rush, Garza, Devlin. Then that whole thing happened. Escobar, and now Kushida. So I think right now, after when it came back down to NXT, it started picking up again. It didn't do a full like change. Like it's not like everybody's raving about the cruiserweights now, but it's more than when they were on the main roster.
Yeah.
I'll be straight up. When it was the main roster, a lot of people would use that for their break. You know what I mean? Like this is a bathroom break, or they were on the pre-show, which they shouldn't be on the pre-show.
Yeah.
But I like that they're being highlighted at takeovers. Exactly. I like that rather than main roster pay-per-views, because main roster pay-per-views, they're just another match.
Yeah.
At least in NXT, and also when they were on the main roster, I love seeing the cruiserweights on main roster, but they really didn't let them tell a story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like all the build up for just Stand and Deliver alone was more than they did on the main roster with it.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
It was like they didn't really build to anything. They would do promos here and there, but it was like, you have beef, why?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like, oh, Tony Nese versus Buddy Murphy. Why? Oh, just cause. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
He got a title shot because he's from New York. Oh, all right,
yeah.
cool. Like
yeah,
it
really,
wasn't no reason. They just a lot of these matches, and it sucks because now I'm going through the list, and a lot will say the pay-per-view's name, and then on the bottom in parentheses, kickoff. So that kind of sucks. But I'm happy now that they have their time to shine on NXT and also have 205 to build up secondary storylines.
I think the pandemic kind of, like you said, Jordan Devlin was the champ before the pandemic, and then that kind of ruined that steam a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm glad Santos Escobar picked it up, and I think Kushida could do the same.
Yeah.
It's all about the takeovers and stuff, and how they like you said, that match at last week's takeover was like better than anything they've done on the main roster. Even the other takeover we competed at against Swerve Scott, also better than anything they've had. And I think that's like I said before, it's all about who you have as champ and who you can have present the face. Once somebody's ready to be champ, they can be champ.
But also, you gotta remember, you also gotta have the people invested, because they would have not gave them that much time if people weren't invested in that storyline.
And there's some people who, like, you don't know who's in that cruiserweight class, so you can literally out of nowhere
show up on 205 Live.
They could just show up randomly and challenge for the title and be like, "Yo, I'm under 205."
It's like, oh, cool, you're a cruiserweight, dope. Just find out then and there. Which so
it's not like, even though they have their own show after SmackDown, it's not really like their own. You don't have to be signed to 205 Live to compete for it.
Yeah,
you could be somebody who, like, Tommaso Ciampa or Gargano. Can't think of anybody else at the moment. On the top of my head, it's under 205 Live, but I was under 205 the weight class. But you could do that for sure with people who are under 205. It could be someone random. I think displaying that, I believe it was the vacant cruiserweight tournament they did when the pandemic hit, when Santos Escobar won it first. That was like a display of cruiserweights right there.
Yeah.
And one of the things I've been talking about, I wanted to come back, was I don't know how they're going to do it now, but the Cruiserweight Classic that they did.
Oh yeah.
Bring it back in 2016. Let me ask you this. I don't know if I can't think of anybody at the top of my head in the indies who was under 205 Live, but if there is a cruiserweight in the indies who you would like to see debut in NXT and compete for that title, who would you want that to add on to that cruiserweight division?
Right now in the indies, of course, my first answer, even though he's up there in age now, not very much, but up there in age, is Amazing Red. Like, that was always the guy you were like rooting for to see him finally get signed, and it was just like so many obstacles that happened, and that was like the whole rumor that he was supposed to win the classic. Um, so I would love to see him do
You were
his
the one
thing.
that told me. I think it was a while back how he was supposed to be in it, right?
Yeah, he was supposed to be in it, but then also like I was reading something and it was like he was supposed to be the winner of the classic. So it was like a whole thing that who knows what the cruiserweight division would have looked like if the first champion was different.
Yeah.
I always think about that because the first champion was Perkins, right?
Yeah.
Who
TJP.
knows what the division would look like if somebody else would have won it?
Like
You know what I mean?
you had people like Ibushi and Zack Sabre Jr. in the
Yeah.
tournament.
But you already knew that they weren't signing with
Yeah.
WWE, so they couldn't let them win. But like, let's say Gargano wins the Cruiserweight Classic, right? What does NXT look like if Gargano wins the Cruiserweight Classic?
He probably would be on Raw by now, and or SmackDown, and or probably released. Who knows?
Yeah, but like that's what I'm saying. You never know. Like he could have been the guy to have that title work in the main roster. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
true.
he
Yeah,
could,
that is true.
and it might still be up there. Cruiserweight might be how it used to be that cruiserweights were opening up a pay per view and it was the most exciting match on the card.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you never know. But Red is always going to be the guy I've always wanted to see in WWE.
Yeah.
And I think he could still go. Most of his move set. That's the thing. That's what hurts Amazing Red is that his whole move set is just everybody else's moves now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And everybody just uses them as a transition move.
Yeah.
It's just like let me think. There's so many moves like that. Super kick is just a transition move now. The Canadian Destroyer, as we saw Bad Bunny hit it, is just a
Shut up,
transition
Bad
move
Bunny.
now.
Yeah.
Yo, he did his thing. Shout
Yeah,
out to
he
him.
did it. Yeah.
Yeah. But that would be my answer. Amazing Red. How about you?
I mean, there's a lot too that I can think of because I'm trying to think of
Oh, there's
people
so
from.
many names, but that's
Yeah.
like the top of my list just because um I grew up watching him on TNA
Yeah.
and discovered him through TNA. He was just a small guy, and when I was younger, I was very short. So I was like, "Oh, if he can do it, I can do it." And it gave that mindset. Like it sounds cheesy, but it gave
Yeah.
that mindset. And then your boy got fat, and I was like, I can't do this. I'm not athletic. Like I tried, not athletic at all. But he did his thing, and I was like, "Yo, this." I always thought he would be in WWE sooner.
Yeah.
And like you always saw like on the dirt sheets and stuff. Oh, talking to Red. I remember one time he had a tryout when No Way Out was in Jersey, and somebody grabbed a picture of him, but nothing ever came from it. As just he's one of those that has those nagging injuries,
Yeah.
so it shows up. So everybody's always iffy on picking them up, but
Yeah.
he will always be my answer.
Because I'm trying to think of people who are in New Japan and going for the junior heavyweight championship. You know,
Oh
because that's technically the same exact title as the
yeah,
cruiserweight championship, but it's called differently. Um, I had a guy. I was thinking of somebody also up there in age, Rocky Romero.
oh yeah,
I mean, I think he would
that's
be
a good
someone
one.
to choose, but again, he's up there in age too. I don't know if he's like on and off with, like I don't really follow New Japan that much to know
Yeah.
where like if he's on or off a lot. Is he still with Bullet Club? Was he ever in Bullet Club?
No, he was with
I feel like he was in a
Chaos.
group.
I think he was with Chaos.
Chaos.
I
Oh,
believe he was with Chaos.
okay. Because
I
I
believe.
was gonna think like if he's with the group, they're probably gonna have to do something where they kick him out or something. I don't know, but I feel like he should be one of them in my opinion. Um, I can't think of anybody else, but like one person on the main roster in WWE who I think it would be cool to see, but I don't think at the moment it would be cool to see because I think he has needs time to develop. Dominic Mysterio. I think it would be cool to see him go down there
I say
and
yeah.
be in NXT and go for that title. But again, he needs a lot of time to develop. And I think
He,
that NXT would probably help him, but I don't think he'd be ready yet to be a champion.
no, yeah, I think, but I think that's that's the place to send him to put that work in.
Yeah.
Like he's great the high flying moves and all that other stuff.
And he's been going against like other bigger guys and making them look like a cruiserweight.
Yeah, so I kind of feel like, but also I feel like WWE like
wants
fucked him. Like they fucked him up because they just threw him in the main roster.
Yeah.
And like didn't really give him a chance. Like he was training and stuff.
Yeah.
But like didn't really give him a chance to like experience.
Yeah.
Like of course, yeah, he's doing matches at practice and stuff, but like it's different than doing it in front of crowds. At least like guys on sound like oh he didn't go through the indies, but guys on the indies get to practice in front of small crowds, and as they work their way up, they get into bigger crowds and bigger crowds depending on where you are. He was just thrown into WWE and was like, okay, you got to be comfortable in front of 30,000 people. Here you go. Like it was just throwing him in. It's like taking a baby, going on the 6 feet side of the pool and said, all right, swim to the 3 feet side where mom is, go and just throw them in. Like it's tough.
I mean, you know the NXT has at least a crowd over there where it's like it's not a lot, but it's a crowd.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be cool because they're putting him in the tag team division right now. I'm pretty sure they're going to win the tag title soon.
I thought they were gonna do it. I'm so happy they didn't.
Yeah, and I think at this point, like I know that's probably what Rey Mysterio wants to do before he's done. So I think they're gonna keep him up there for a while longer.
And it's a cool milestone.
It's a cool thing. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind that, but I think once they lose that, whenever they win it, I think it'll be like, okay, now we can go to NXT, build you up there as a single star now.
Yeah.
Because technically, it was a tag team, kind of display for him there. Now you're a single star, get your boost up there by yourself. Then when you're ready, we can call you back up. And I think doing that, because he has to do stuff by himself eventually. I feel like I haven't really heard him talk a lot lately.
No,
it's been him wrestling.
And they had that big storyline, which it just disappeared.
Yeah.
Which we were actually finding out what his personality was.
Yeah.
And then they said, nah, not today.
Yeah, not today.
So I think it would be cool for him. Let them win the tag titles. He's great in the ring. I'm not shitting on his ability, but he just need, like any wrestler, any athlete, you need practice. And you need to, especially now that he's going into singles, like this is good. It would be good for him to go back to not go back, but go down to NXT.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't have any experience. I mean, besides getting trained and all that, he didn't really have an experience in terms of getting out there by himself.
Yeah, exactly. But also, you got to think of I always saw the pictures of the people he was training with. So it's like he has great minds that he learned from.
Yeah.
But he needs to learn.
I mean, you had the performance center. Might as well just go there and take advantage of it.
Yeah. Like right now, his in-ring work is great. Like, of course, every wrestler is going to find something that they need to improve on.
Yeah.
He probably already knows what he needs to improve on. It's like me when I cut hair. Like, I could see stuff that maybe you won't see just because I know what to look for. So I'll be like, oh, that's fucked up. But you might say, oh, that's a nice cut. That's like us watching wrestling. Oh, that was dope. And he might look at it like, oh, I missed a step, or you know what I mean? They did something wrong that we don't notice, but they just want to perfect themselves. So I think for him to go back to NXT would be more on
beneficial
working the crowd. Yeah, beneficial on working the crowd and working on his promo skills.
Yeah,
because I think his in-ring is good. Of course, you always want to improve, but I think his in-ring is good. He just needs to work on cutting promos and stuff. I think
there's a lot of guys who should go there. I mean, there's I don't know if Slapjack is under 205, not sure. But he looks like a cruiserweight. He looks like a small guy. So I'm assuming they should put him back there, give him time to develop whenever the gimmick is done.
They need to finish that whole gimmick. They need to take the mask off. They gotta just.
Yeah, I don't want to go off topic, but remember 2 episodes ago I called it. Didn't I call it?
Yeah.
Didn't I call it with them joining Hurt Business?
Yep, you did call it.
I said it.
I give that to you. I
think they are. I think they are. I mean, I think it's. I mean, even though it's still T-Bar and Mace, I still think
I like the idea, but I hope they get rid of the gimmick.
They have
somehow. Like MVP's like, yo,
yeah,
because
because if you remember, Mustafa Ali kind of said, and I don't remember if it was on a Raw or social media, but he said in some type of promo where he came up with the names for them. Like he gave them the names T-Bar, Maze, Slapjack, and them.
No, he didn't. It was him.
He said like, oh, um, it was like, oh, you guys think that we're a joke, like kind of like how you think our names are a joke. No, it's like if you think our names are a joke, that's how we've been treated by the company, kind of thing.
Well, don't name yourself T-Bar and Slapjack, and you won't be treated as a joke.
Yeah, I mean, so I think it's because of like I said, Mustafa Ali kind of named them those names and giving them those looks.
Yeah,
take it off them, and they're not even with Mustafa Ali anymore. These are with MVP now. Just tell them like, yo, just scrap the whole thing, go back to your normal selves.
Let MVP name them like their pets and shit.
It gives them something completely different. But like, and I don't know if you noticed this at WrestleMania, and when everyone was on the stage, Mia Yim wasn't reckoning. She was just Mia Yim. She wasn't wearing
that.
She wasn't wearing her mask. She had her regular snapback, bandana, blue hair.
Oh, I didn't even peep that. I gotta go back and watch that to see.
Yeah, she was herself. So I'm assuming, I'm predict this right now. This week's SmackDown, Mia Yim's debuting on SmackDown as Mia.
I would love that. I would love that.
I wouldn't mind.
Since we're on this topic already.
Okay, yeah.
What was since we're on Mania right now?
Okay.
Night 1 or night 2?
Night 1.
Oh, of course. Yeah. What didn't you like about night 2?
And I'm gonna say the obvious one. Gonna have to be the finish of the Fiend versus Orton match.
Oh, of course, yeah. That you should have known. They just don't know what to do with the Fiend. They just always fucking shit up. Like, I don't get it.
See, this is the thing. This for me, I don't think they fucked them up. I don't think. They just. I know that people are thinking like, oh, it's a loss, whatever, blah blah blah. Like, I don't think a loss affects Bray Wyatt. I think you can lose 10 times in a row more, and it's still the Fiend is the Fiend. Like, I don't think that would affect them heavily. Like, like Undertaker loses matches, John Cena loses matches, Triple H loses matches. Like, everyone loses. Like, I don't think it's that big of a deal that he lost. I think it's the way they did.
He lost.
Yeah, the way he lost. Like, it was confusing. So I don't think a loss really matters that much in that way.
Like, I understand, like, they're furthering the storyline.
Yeah, I'm thinking that.
So I understand. I look at it that way. Like, of course, I was mad at the way it ended, but I want to see what happens with the storyline. I'm kind of intrigued now.
Yeah.
Like, and people were like, "Oh, this is not where you continue storylines. This is where you end them." The storyline did end. You heard that on Monday. Randy said Alexa and Bray, they're in his past.
Yeah.
The storyline was starting with Alexa versus the Fiend. It's not with Randy no more. So it's basically a new feud. So it's not continuing shit. So all those people that are saying, oh, WrestleMania is where you end feuds. Yeah, they ended the feud. They just started a new one up. So, like, I understand people were tight at the ending. I was tight at the ending. I was like, what is this? But then after a while, I was thinking about it. I was like, I wonder what they're doing next with this.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see where they go with it.
Yeah. It's kind of ending it, but not ending at the same time. Yeah. That makes sense.
It was ending it with the Randy Orton part.
Yeah.
That was their way of ending a feud. They ended the Randy Orton feud, but still continuing the Alexa and Fiend storyline.
Yeah. Which is, like you said, like, I think it's going to be interesting to see where that goes.
Yeah.
And where they take that part of it. Like, is it going to be someone else going to be involved with this storyline now? There's got to be somebody taking, because they can't have Alexa Bliss versus Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
So they're going to have someone fight for Alexa Bliss. I don't know if they're still together. I don't know if they're like kind of going their own ways now. I don't know. It's kind of cool in that part where they had, now it's like Alexa Bliss is, if Alexa Bliss is not with Bray anymore, then now you have a different side of Alexa Bliss on her own now. Instead of, it's like, instead of bringing her back to her old self, it's the same Alexa we've seen with Bray, but by herself. And it brings out a new character.
And I think this was the plan all along, because I think they looked at the Alexa character and saw that was getting kind of bland, and they were like, we gotta help her and do something.
It's like a female Bray kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's cooler to see that. Are they gonna bring someone up or someone around to help her out? I think there is. What people are saying, it's Aleister Black. It'll be cool, but then you got to trade him over to Raw or somehow. I don't know how they're gonna randomly slide that in.
Right now?
He got dropped to the SmackDown, I believe. That's what I remember last. So
well, look at that. I don't even remember. You don't even have to explain it to people. You could just
apparently he's coming back soon. I don't know when, but I hope.
Yeah,
I
saw that they were talking about doing like promos and stuff. I was
like,
cool.
I mean, if they're doing promos, then why would they announce promos if they're gonna have him randomly debut for? So I don't think it's him. Now that I saw that, but I don't know. Let's see where that one goes.
I feel you. So I have one more question for you.
What's up?
Night 1 or night 2 main event?
Ooh. I'm gonna have to go with night 2 main event, man.
Night 2. Yeah. I'll tell you straight up. Sasha's one of my favorite wrestlers. Like, not female, she's one of my favorite wrestlers. She's nice in the ring.
Yeah.
It was a dope match, a really good match.
Yeah.
Thank goodness, because they made up for 35. Because that made
did you hear Michael Cole at the end? Michael Cole almost kept it together, but he kind of messed it up a little bit at the end.
Yeah,
he thought people would have noticed, but he said something.
I don't know what he was looking at, but
I don't know. I thought it was.
But you know what? Sometimes you make mistakes. Like, also, you're caught up in the moment. You know what I mean? So
yeah. He probably just said it by mistake. Like, oh shoot, I said that by mistake.
Yeah. But I have to say night 2, not only because I think this is just my opinion. I think it was a better match.
Yeah.
And it had a better story behind it.
Yeah.
And it just told so much.
Like I'm not trying to bring anybody down from Bianca Belair or Sasha. Oh, but I love both of them. Both of them are fantastic, great competitors. The future right there. But one thing that I've noticed, like during that match, people were like, "Oh my God, Bianca's so good. You know, she could pick up Sasha Banks." Blah blah blah. They made her seem like she's like a. I get it. She is strong. I get it. She has a physique.
She's not
strong.
Rhea.
Exactly. And like people were saying, like, "Oh my God, she could pick up Sasha." It's fucking Sasha. Like,
yeah. But also
Bailey can pick up Bailey. Bailey can pick up Sasha.
But you gotta think about it though. You gotta think about it.
It didn't wow me like people were hyping it up to be. Like I said, Bailey could probably lift up Sasha like that easily.
I think they were trying to hype it up more because it's women, even though I feel like that's kind of like degrading them, like kind of saying she couldn't pick her up.
If she would have picked up like Charlotte or Nia, I wouldn't have been impressed. Or Rhea Ripley for the matter.
Yeah.
But like
she picks up Nia, shout out to her.
Yeah, I think she did once. I think she might have did like a Royal Rumble. If I'm not mistaken. I don't know. But like if it was Sasha, if it was anybody else, I would have made believable. But it was Sasha who kind of seems like not that heavy to pick up.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean,
I feel you. I just night 2 just had I think a better match overall and a better story to it. And it was just the way it ended was just man.
You could have it was good up
Did you like it? Did you like the ending? Did you like the pin?
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, one of the things that I kind of heard about, like kind of like I don't know if it's like going to be part of the storyline, but one of the things I saw about it, I don't know if you heard about it
on Twitter.
Yeah,
that they were going back and forth.
No, it was like I don't know if you're talking about the same thing, but they could have said like how it could be debatable how like Edge won the match.
Yeah, because I think he was pinning... Charles Robinson and Adam Pearce were going back and forth on Twitter.
Yeah,
talking about it. He pinned Brian. Yeah,
because he put Edge on Brian, and then he kind of just put his hands on him, making Edge technically pinning Brian. And that could be part of the new storyline now. Like WrestleMania Backlash. That could be like the match.
Don't even get me started on WrestleMania Backlash.
And then we got WrestleMania Money in the Bank after that.
Who the fuck was sitting in an office and said, hey, we got to come up with names for pay-per-views. We got to be creative this year. Let's not just call it Backlash. We're going to call it WrestleMania Backlash so people know what the Backlash is from. That was the whole point of Backlash. Backlash was always after Mania. And then they changed it to Payback. It was always something on getting revenge.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I think their goal, I'm assuming that majority of these matches are going to be WrestleMania rematches. And I get they're trying to like make it be like, oh, instead of confusing. Yeah. So instead of confusing, be like, oh, why are there rematches from WrestleMania? Might as well be WrestleMania. It kind of says in the name now. So like, you're kind of aware of it ahead of time that it's a WrestleMania rematch.
When they showed it, they said, we'll be coming to you live next month. WrestleMania Backlash. I said, because when they put up the logo first, I said, oh, they put the Mania logo like by mistake.
Nope. Not at all.
WrestleMania Backlash.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like I don't know. I mean, I'm just not trying to call it WrestleMania Backlash. I'm just gonna say Backlash.
Backlash. It's Backlash. Yeah.
I was kind of hoping Money in the Bank would have been the next one. I think last year they did Money in the Bank the next pay-per-view. I don't know.
But, because Becky got knocked up. Yeah. So they had to.
Did you expect it to return at Mania?
Yeah. I texted you. I said, "This is it. This is the time." And it kept like having Bailey pop up.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yo, it's gonna happen." Like,
yep. But that would have made sense because like if you would have had Becky come out and have like especially with Bailey, that would have been better off because then you have your first feud with Bailey.
Yeah, you don't throw her right into the title, even though they're gonna do it.
Yeah.
And say, oh, she never lost it. Da 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 da. Like, But
yeah, I feel like Becky might return and win Money in the Bank, kind of like repeating last year to be like, oh, Money in the Bank. I had to give up the Money in the Bank. Sense. So now I got to win Money in the Bank to get it back, kind of thing. So that's why I feel like they made it the next pay-per-view at the Backlash, so like it can give time for the champions to have a title reign instead of giving it up too soon. I don't know. Maybe like I was hoping that at least whatever champion she goes after, because I have a feeling she could end up on either brand.
Mainly because she left as the Raw champion.
Yeah, but also Seth is on SmackDown, and they love putting couples on the same show. They love putting couples on the same show.
I don't know why. I never understood that, especially when they don't interact.
Yeah. I mean, I get it makes sense. The pandemic era, you don't want to get COVID from one brand and bring it over home back home, and then your spouse gets it from the other show. I get that part, so it makes sense on that part. But like, so I'm assuming now that they're the parents, they have a newborn, they might want to be on the same show. Like when one of them's out there, the other one's taking care of the baby, type of thing. So it makes sense there. So I have a feeling she might return to SmackDown. So that's why I'm thinking SmackDown might be the show for her. I know she was Raw Women's Champion when she left, but
it does make sense for her to show up on SmackDown.
Yeah. But I would rather see her either win Money in the Bank and then cash it in at SummerSlam, or just go after the title at SummerSlam without the Money in the Bank. Because I think whatever champion she goes after, it could still be a main event type thing after SummerSlam, or a SummerSlam type match.
Yeah,
that would go after.
Definitely.
But again, I feel like they're gonna end up putting Charlotte. For the I know this.
You know the vibes. You know the vibes.
Like, let's talk about that too. Let's talk about that real quick. Like, Raw after Mania, I'm like, okay, it's cool. I like Charlotte. I don't think she's a bad competitor. I think she's a great main eventer, great superstar all around. I'm not trying to shit on her. But what annoys me about what they're making her do, like, I feel like it's every other pay-per-view she goes after the title, whether she wins it or not.
That promo she cut on Monday, though.
That's what I was going to bring up. Great promo. But I don't know about you. I feel like that's literally every single promo she cuts. Like, talks about how no one can step up to the queen, how it's her fault or her reasoning for people becoming champion. It's basically revamping the same promo with different people in different matches.
Yeah, but right now they're using it hot right now because of all that stuff that Andrade said in interviews, how people were mad at her opportunities. And that's where that line came that was like, I'm not giving opportunities. I am the opportunity. You know what I mean? Like, it was like going at that. So I was like, oh, this is kind of dope. But it is usually the same promos and saying the same things. Now it just made more sense because it's like that's what's going on. You know what I mean? That's what everyone's talking about with Charlotte right now.
Yeah.
I have another question for you. You saw NXT last night?
Tuesday night.
Tuesday night, yeah.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah, sorry.
Tuesday night. How did you feel about the champions all together in one?
That was awesome. That was a cool moment. I'm glad they brought it up and mentioned it rather than just like not mentioning it at all. I mean, like it's cool. They even showed the picture in the background, and they were all. What I saw on Twitter was that like that picture, that the original picture that was taken of them three before, like a couple of years ago. That was at the Mae Young Classic that year. That was before. That was before they were all officially signed.
Oh, okay.
So that made it even more interesting to see. That was before they were signed to NXT. Now they're two of them in the main roster champs. Raquel Gonzalez is NXT champ, and she even said in a promo, I didn't even know that originally she was supposed to debut on the very first episode of NXT when it moved to USA Network, and then she wasn't ready, and I'm glad she brought that up. That was pretty cool. So I like that episode. It was a pretty good episode, especially the fact that they moved to Tuesday nights now. That was pretty cool.
It helped them a lot.
Yeah.
That moment though, I thought it was cool. I just don't like how we have so many characters right now.
Like what?
Some of the wrestlers that are so like tweeners. Like you don't know if they heel or face.
Yeah.
Like Rhea, like the build up to Mania, she was the heel. Now, am I supposed to feel sympathy for Rhea because Charlotte is attacking her and stuff? Or like,
I think it's like, because I'm thinking that at Backlash it might be a triple threat, so where like you have one heel in Charlotte, one babyface in Asuka, and someone in the middle.
Yeah.
So it's like you can do both.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like they had all of them in the ring together. It was kind of like, oh, face, tweener, Raquel. I don't know what you are, but cool.
Yeah, I mean,
I think you're a face now because she just came out and like bodied you in a promo, but like trying to talk shit to you. So maybe you're a face now. You know what I mean? Like it was just stuff like that. That I was like, but it was a cool moment. Always like those moments. But I said that last week too, because I sat down with my brother to watch the press conference because they did the press conference on Peacock leading up to Stand and Deliver.
Yeah.
And I was watching it. Did you watch it? Or
I watched it, yeah.
Was it me or were all the faces acting like heels?
I guess it was in like they were supposed to be in the moment. Like, oh, they're hyping it up. They're supposed to be like, ready. At that point, it was like, I think a day or two away.
Yeah.
So I think they were supposed to be like focused and ready, opposed to just, oh, look at me, I'm, because there's no audience there. What are they gonna do?
Yeah.
Say good things about the audience? So I guess they're just more focused and ready for their matches instead of just like, they're supposed to be angry at their opponent more than just making, being happy and all that stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, it was just like a lot of the faces were cutting heel promos, and a lot of the heels were just like.
The thing is too, like with Escobar and Devlin, who was the heel and who was the babyface? Like who was I don't know. Exactly. That's what I was saying before. Like Escobar.
I think Devlin was the babyface. I thought Devlin was the babyface in that build-up. Like this guy, you were the champion. This man won the interim championship, defended it, said he was the best cruiserweight champ. Shitting on you. You're the babyface in the picture. That's how I looked at it. Wow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he kind of took over your job. He took over your division. So you're kind of the babyface coming in, trying to get control again.
That's why he's going to be Kushida's next challenger, to bring him back as being a heel.
Yeah.
And that's why I was going to say too, like with Raquel, Bianca, and Rhea, I feel like with the next feuds, and like I think they made them all like baby faces to have that moment.
Yeah.
And then next feud, whatever each of them face next, they're gonna go back to their original, heel or baby face.
Yeah. Because even Raquel, like I know she's iffy too. Like it's like, are you a baby?
I think she might be a baby face now. I think she might be a baby
now.
She's
definitely a baby face.
Yeah.
But like when like the build up with her and Shirai, it was like
she was a heel. She was a heel then, I think. I think she was the heel there.
Yeah, but it was like it would change. And then like when they did the the press conference, she was on the faces side and was like, wait, what? Like, what's going on? And it was just stuff like that I was like, this feels like a lot of faces being heels and like people not really knowing what their character is at the moment.
Yeah.
Even though it all worked out, but at the press conference, I got confused.
Yeah, me too. A little bit. I see what you mean, but I think it was more of them just going at each other purposely to hype up the event and to make it more like intense in a way.
No, yeah, definitely.
So I don't think it was meant to be like to switch off back and forth. I don't know, but I feel that was the point of that. I mean, it was cool. It was interesting. It felt like a press conference. I felt
I wish WWE brought that back more. Like
they started doing it recently during the pandemic. I think they started doing that. I don't think this wasn't the first one.
Really? I haven't.
I'm not sure.
This was that was
the first one I saw.
Yeah, it was the first one I saw, and I got the notification when it went live. I was like, oh, I gotta check this out. That was the first one I've seen though. But I know they used to do one every year for Mania, and then they just stopped. I think after 30, they just stopped doing them.
I didn't even know they did press conferences.
Yeah, they would do like a press conference like the Thursday before Mania, and have like the champions talk. They did it for many years.
I didn't know. I never followed those at that point, so I didn't know. But I don't know. Yeah. So I guess we could wrap it up right here. Just ending off with a quick WrestleMania week recap. Again, if you guys want to comment to interact, comment your favorite 2 comments actually. Comment your favorite cruiserweight of all time, either current or back then, and comment your favorite part about WrestleMania week, just to have comments in there. Again, this has been episode 31 of the Ring Fanatics Podcast. I'm Nick, your host, Joel, my co-host, and we'll see you guys next time.
Catch you.